Hello everyone, Pallytub here. Welcome back to Heroes of the Storm. We are still continuing our A through Z playthrough, and we have landed upon Sarah Kerrigan, my personal favorite melee assassin in the alpha, other than Eleanor Storm Ranger Zeratul. She fell off for a really, really long time. Like, no one played her ever for a really, really long time. And because of that, there's really not much to talk about as far as her development cycle is considered, because it really hasn't changed that much. She was nerfed at the end of the alpha and then wasn't buffed until recently. But we are going to be playing her today, and I'm going to be showing off a build that I kind of use to make her more well-rounded. Most Kerrigan builds rely on either landing the combo to kill everything, or rely on using Ravage to sustain off of everything. Now there's pros and cons to both of these, but I have a build that's actually very reminiscent of my build in the alpha that allows her to kind of be good at everything. She kind of becomes more like a Sonya, where Sonya can go out and kind of do whatever needs to be done on the map. Kerrigan can fill this role and then gank really hard right after she takes a mercenary camp, for example. It's pretty fun. I have not made a video about this particular build in a couple years, it feels like. And it's kind of updated with her new talents, so I think this should be pretty fun.
Wait till they get a load of me.
Yeah! Nailed it! Fuck! Fast Q! Oh no. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we find ourselves on the Cursed Hollow today. At level 1, we are going to be going for Sharpened Blades. So this is not a Ravage regen build, and it's really not going to be super combo-oriented, even though any build for Kerrigan is. But we are going to start out with Sharpened Blades at level 1. Hi, team. The friendly team: Ariel, Abathur, Kerrigan, Greymane, Li Ming. The enemy team: Brightwing, Murky, Li Ming, and Nazeebo. This is going to be a weird match. I'm really our only front line, so the team is going to rely on me to go in quite a bit. And in some circumstances, I definitely will be able to do that, come a step closer. But in others, we're just going to be focused down by the Nazeebo, and we do need to be very aware of that. We need to be very mindful of that. Did I say Murky, or we're going to be focused by the Octograb? That's what I meant to say. Let's try to just harass this Nazeebo. We want to deny him these last hits on these minions, so he cannot generate his stacks he needs to stay alive. Pretty shit combo there, if I do say so myself, but we should just be able to walk away from this Lily nice and casually. Nazeebo didn't follow up with any damage there, and we're going to be able to sippy cup. So Kerrigan's abilities: her Q is Ravage. This allows her to jump to a target like we just did there to get that regen globe. You can spec to have this give you a significant amount of self-sustain. We have opted not to do that today. Her W ability is a stun that she puts on the ground. It's a skill shot stun that has a delay built in as well. It will stun everything in this radius, however, so you could do some cool stuff like dropping your stuff. That one looked good, team. That one looked good. You can do some cool stuff like dropping your stun on the ground and then pulling people into it with your E ability, which is really, really good. And that is called the Kerrigan combo. And if you want to be good at Kerrigan, you have to land it. Now, you see the obvious issue that a character completely dedicated to this philosophy could run into. If you don't land the combo with most Kerrigan builds, you're not going to be performing very well. And that's why I'm trying to come up with a build that kind of skews the difficulty a little bit. You kind of you're good at everything. You're not focused on the combo. You can go in and trade and hopefully be pretty healthy by the end of it. And because you will have games where you just go in and you miss. And it's looking like this is going to be one of those games. He's not dodging particularly well, but the Kerrigan combo is not hard to dodge at all. So we are going to go for Fury of the Swarm at level 4, which is going to allow our auto attack to cleave to every enemy nearby. See, I mean, if I reacted faster there, we definitely would have landed that combo. This allows Kerrigan to push lanes very, very effectively. It allows her to get XP very, very quickly for her team. She can kind of, take this with a grain of salt, okay? Don't hate me. She could kind of fill the role of Zul in that regard on maps that require her to rotate. So like Blackheart's Bay, you could have your whole team down in the bottom lane and have a Kerrigan just generating XP in, you know, the top and middle lane on that map, and it should be pretty effective. Do we have a combo here? No, I moved her out of that combo because I'm good at this game. Hopefully Ariel's going to have a heal for us soon because... Oh, wait a bit. We can go Sippy Cup. We'll be fine. We'll go ahead and get that really quick, and then we can re-engage. A lot of our sustain is going to come from a little bit later in the game, so we are going to have to kind of ramp up into that a little bit. I have missed every single combo so far. I swear to God, I actually know how to play Kerrigan. I swear I do. I just wanted to generate some shields very quickly. Get a kill on Murky there, push him out of the fight for just a moment. Oh my God. Oh my God, team. This is so bad. And this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking... Oh, good block from Ariel there. I have games where I completely dominate on Kerrigan. Completely fucking dominate on Kerrigan. And then I have games like this one, where apparently I don't remember how any of my abilities work. And the problem is I just did a practice game right before this one to make sure I was in sync and I knew what I was doing. And I played phenomenally. I'm overthinking it, I think. I think that's a good sentence. I am overthinking it, I think. Proceeding to continue to think and coming to the conclusion that I am indeed overthinking. But this is what this build could do. At any point in the game, we could go take a camp. And as the game goes on, we could actually come out very healthy from these. It is going to take a little bit of time to build up into that. We're just getting those steps in place right now. But this will push the middle lane. This will buy us a little bit of time. Let's see, the first tribute was top middle, so we're tracking that now. We know where to go for the next one. Good, good, good. Now, the good thing about us actually delaying on that spot for so long was it did allow Abathur to get a significant portion of XP for the team. Next tribute is top right. That means the third trivia question, where will the third tribute be? I gave you a clue. Actually, I just gave you the answer, but yeah, that's basically a clue, right? Okay, team, we got this one. Yeah! There we go. I just needed to be a lot more casual about it. So we're going to sit here and we're going to zone for the team as our Ariel goes in and gathers that tribute. Looks like Grey Maid's just going back up to the top, but that's totally fine. Now watch how fast we can push a lane, because it's actually pretty cool. And because of our build, we're going to get a significant amount of health regen and mana regen from this as well, which means we don't have to go for Ravage for those kind of sustained gains. We could just go in and auto-attack a lane in between team fights and regenerate a significant portion of health in the process. So Kerrigan's development cycle, she was very strong in the alpha. Basically was one of the main playmakers in Heroes, actually. If you wanted a flashy assassin on your team that could go in and actually carry a game, by herself, mind you. I talked about how Illidan carries games because his team propels him to do that. No, Kerrigan could just kind of go in and lock everyone down. She comboed exceptionally well with Wombo combo focused teams. And this is back when Nazeebo's Vengeful Spirit was crazy strong as well. So you could see Kerrigan's go in, just land a combo on the enemy team, and all of a sudden just kill the entire enemy team in the process as well. That was not very uncommon at all, actually. Also, back in the very, very, very early days, we saw Kerrigan with a significantly higher radius on her E ability. It would basically just grab everything in front of you. The range on it was like probably triple the width of this. It was actually ridiculous. Let's go ahead and interrupt this Nazeebo. We will have to grab our ultimate here as well. I'm going to go for Summon Ultras just because I wanted to talk about it a little bit, not because I necessarily think it was the best choice for this. Summon Ultralisk actually used to be really popular in the alpha, but was kind of just phased out over time. The other option at this level was obviously Maelstrom, and very good AoE around your character, synergizes really well with a lot of what Kerrigan does. But Summon Ultralisk would allow you to generate shields from complete safety, which I really like about it. I play Kerrigan these days as a bit more of an opportunistic character, whereas I will kind of wait on the backline until I see a very good opportunity to go in. And for me and my playstyle, that makes Summon Ultralisk a bit more valuable because you could still be doing damage to the enemy team during that process. And look how fast we can clear that wave down. And then we can start to push in and generate more XP from our team just because we have that really, really efficient lane clear. Now, one thing this build does lack is escape, so we do need to be very mindful of our mini-map right now. Only 2 people are showing. There we go. Now they're starting to come in. So we do have to be aware of the enemy team's positions at all time. And seeing as though we could only see, well, Li Ming was missing. But we just need to be careful. That's all I'm trying to get across. So at some point, Kerrigan only had one build, and they wanted to add in a bit more build variety. And this is back in the early days of Blizzard trying to attempt to shake up build variety. This is back before Jaina was added to the game, and they had that perfect sweet spot of what a character could be. And basically, they nerfed her so bad and changed her talent so much that no one wanted to play Kerrigan anymore. And which is sad, because she was like a huge playmaker back in the day. She was really exciting to see. Just overall, a phenomenal spectating character, because she can make such big plays happen. And then we're talking for probably a year and a half, if not more, she just was not played. She sank into complete and utter obscurity, and no one talked about Kerrigan anymore ever. And this all changed right about the time that the Infernal Shrines were released, because people realized that Kerrigan's Ravage talents in the early game, her Siphoning Impact and her Clean Kill, allowed Kerrigan to actually clear out the monsters, which is the official name for an objective minion. Someone clarified that for me on the Johanna video, because I couldn't remember what the official terminology was. A monster is an objective minion. Infernal Shrines, you have to kill 30 monsters to get the objective to spawn. Kerrigan was phenomenal at this. She could clear it out in seconds, and it was amazing. And she finally had a place in the game again. But they nerfed these talents. Instead of just getting that initial health back when you Ravage, which increased her sustain exponentially and allowed her to actually be playable, they kind of nerfed those talents, and everyone was so afraid that it would be the end of Kerrigan again. But I actually think she's in a really good spot. She has two main builds. You either go for Ravage focus or you go for your combo focus. Speaking of combos, oh my god, team. And she has really impactful abilities still. I would say that her combo is a bit more balanced than it was in the past, because of course when I'm dead, team. Back in the alpha, when you can like scoop everything, it was seriously probably the radius of these two towers. If I was standing here, I think I could pull in everything in those two towers. So instead of doing that, you know, people can actually play around the combo. People can move out of the way. It actually takes a lot of skill and a lot of reading of posture and how you think people are going to dodge. You have to take all of that into account now with landing the Kerrigan combo. Is she very hard to play? Yes, she is so fucking hard to play. But she's also very fun. And she definitely has a place on maps like Infernal Shrines still. Now, when the damage changes came back in and people started taking Siphoning Blades into Psionic Pulse, when they started doing that, she became first pick every map, but that has been readjusted, and I really do think she's in a good spot. If you're a good Kerrigan player, you can play a really good Kerrigan right now. If you're not a good Kerrigan player, then she's going to punish you until you can get used to landing that combo, which is what we saw at the beginning of this video. I was missing them like crazy. I had to take a second and just recollect my thoughts and make sure that I was actually focused, not on the fact that I was missing, but on the fact that I do need to land them, and I just need to take a second to do that. You can see I took over that mercenary camp. I'm leaving with full health and full mana, and we cleared it very, very quickly. That is what I love about this build, and there's actually a really nice rhythm to it as well. So we have gone for Sharpened Blades, which increases that stun damage. So let's just pull these guys in with our E, and then auto attack, stun, auto attack, ravage, auto attack, ravage, auto attack, ravage, auto attack. And every time we auto, we are getting these crits with double strike. And because we have Fury of the Swarm, those crits also cleave. So we get critical hits on everything in the area. Now, normal Kerrigan builds these days rely on Psionic Pulse to generate AoE damage and give you shields from everything in the area. We are instead generating shields with our auto attack, and we're also critting with our auto attack, and that crit is cleaving to everything else. I really like this interpretation of the build. Not everyone will, though, and there's nothing wrong with that. This is actually very similar to how I played Kerrigan in the alpha. It was all about lane presence. It was all about moving in and just cleaving virtually everything. And I did use ulti quite a bit, too. because I like just sticking the minion in on a mage like Li Ming here and completely zoning them out of the fight. It still does a great job of that. It's like fantastic. Now, I'm not going to say that Ultralisk is picked by anyone else ever, because it is not. And you should not get the delusion that it is, because again, it is not. I'm a bit of a unique little snowflake in my love for the Ultralisk. Back in the day, the Ultralisk could not be microed. We kind of talked about this a little bit in the Jaina Proudmoore video. It was only after Jaina was added to the game could we actually control the Ultralisk, and that made it significantly more powerful. Because again, kind of like how Rexar just puts Misha on a character and then applies pressure to that character to make them move, we're doing the same thing with the Ultralisk in this regard, except the Ultralisk doesn't have stuns. Now, one interesting thing you can do with this build, again, remember, this is not an assassin build. This is a jack of all trades. This is a, I'm Kerrigan, and I'm going to do everything that I can possibly fucking do on the battlefield to win. And I mean, we have good assassination damage, we have good burst damage, but we also have a crazy effective lane clear. And once we hit level 20, we're also going to have the ability to just completely put pressure on the enemy team, get XP completely uncontested, and force their attention to other lanes. This is really good versus a team that maybe isn't that great at split pushing. This is great versus a team that wants to deathball you down. By the way, I know I've already said the fact that I'm a fan of the Ultralisk, but I've become more of a fan of abilities that zone targets away from objectives. So things like the shrines on Towers of Doom. I really like Nazeebo there, because Nazeebo can just throw out his toads and everyone moves away from the toads. Tychus can drop the drill. Everyone moves away from the drill. Kael'thas with the Phoenix. I've become a lot more of a fan of those types of interactions where I can do something that changes the posturing of the enemy team to gain an advantage. And I do feel like the Ultralisk is that. Now, it does appear that the enemy team has completely given up. It does appear that that is the case. But there's a lot of options at level 20. You cannot go wrong with any of the talent choices. Personally, I think the Ultralisk is really fun here because he'll never die. So we can tell him to go up to the top lane. And now we can get XP in the top lane while we're in the middle lane killing the core. Anything that he is around, anything that he last hits, and remember, he has a pretty big cleave, is going to be generating XP for our team. And when he dies, he just goes into this egg, and then he's reborn again, and it allows him to push significantly more. So I'm getting damage out on the map in 2 different areas right now, just because of the Ultralisk. Now, it's unfortunate that the enemy team gave up. It's very unfortunate. It was a crazy one-sided match, actually, once I started to land my combos. But that's the kind of the impact that that Kerrigan can have. She is the quintessential playmaker. If you want to put on a show for viewers, if you are confident in your abilities, you cannot go wrong with Kerrigan to complete that task. If we look at my profile, I'll look in just a second, actually. This was the stats for the game. Pretty average. These are my talents. Sharpened Blades, Fury of the Swarm, Assimilation Mastery. Again, Summon Ultralisk is a niche pick, and I like it. You can easily go for Maelstrom here, and it would make perfect sense. Double Strike to get that damage bonus. It's basically a follow-through, but for Kerrigan. Aggressive Defense increases the shield amount gained by 100%. This goes along with Assimilation Mastery, where we regenerate our health and mana when we have a shield. This just lets us get more of a shield. The Ultralisk morphs into an egg when it dies. Again, very, very niche, specialized pick there. What you could do is go for, you can see that, yeah, you can go for Nexus Blades here, which makes it so your crit will deal more damage to everything around you. So when you go in and you pull things in with your E and you auto attack, it'll deal more damage with that auto attack. And then the crit from Fury of the Swarm will deal more damage to everything in that area. Bolt of the Storm just for escape. Like, all of her level 20 talents are really good and should be considered. Kerrigan is a phenomenal character. I really, really enjoy her. Always have. If we look at my profile, if I had to guess, she's probably at 120 games won right about here, right along with Tassadar. I have 5 characters that I play more than anything else, and they hover right around the same amount of wins, except for Stitches. But that's it for me today, guys. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope I conveyed my love for this character. Even though she didn't have the most exciting development cycle, like there was seriously a year straight where nothing happened to her, I do really think she's in a great spot right now, and definitely worth picking up if you want to learn a melee assassin. She is hard, though. There is definitely a learning curve, and you shouldn't beat yourself up over that learning curve. Up next, we are going to have Kerrigan, a very aggressive support that I keep saying I want to play more and then never do. Yet again, another character that has not had really much of an interesting development cycle at all. Oh well, can't win them all. Thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time.